Whenever the topic of modern films is brought up, it's unfortunate to say that the market has been oversaturated for quite a while now. Whether they be the yearly action blockbuster chock full of CGI or another unwanted remake or reboot, these films have been so profitable over the years that they have now created a formula for a successful movie, of which companies have milked to the point audiences are catching on to it. In spite of this stagnation, indie films, however, have continued to survive within the current environment, providing a bit of fresh air for those willing to dive into the strange and unusual. One of these films has become a recent hit not only financially but also with viewers, as it explores the many twists and turns made to find purpose in the world. It being a movie from earlier this year called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once is the second film to be written and directed by the imaginative duo Daniel Kwan and Scheinert, aka the Daniels. Produced with the help of the Russo brothers and distributed by A24, an indie company which also distributed their first film, Swiss Army Man, in 2016, their latest film would boast an all-star cast and rake in a box office of $100 million on a $25 million budget. Major influences would include The Matrix, as well as the high-energy fight scenes of Hong Kong action films, while also tapping into the insanity that only comes from 2D animation, such as Masaaki Yuasa's film Mind Game. Despite their action-packed inspirations, however, the film doesn't really follow the expected narrative of an action movie, instead focusing on rather peaceful, if not relatable ideas that the directors strive to emphasize. These will be understood as the story progresses, but spoilers are ahead. Throughout the movie, we follow the main character Evelyn Wang, a Chinese-American immigrant living out her mundane life as a struggling laundromat owner, alongside her meek husband Waymond. Countless regrets about her life occupy her thoughts, with family matters only compounding these pains, such as her estranged father Gong Gong coming to visit, or the shortcomings she finds in her daughter Joy on top of her own unsatisfying marriage. Evelyn is simply unable to hear out and attend to them all at once. On a trip to the IRS building concerning the laundromat, however, her life is soon about to change forever as she is thrust into becoming the savior of the multiverse by an alternate version of her husband from another universe, the confident and skilled fighter Alphaverse Waymond. He tells Evelyn of the threat that endangers everyone, them being the universe-hopping Jobutapaki and their mysterious bagel, as he tries to teach her how to do a technique called a verse jump in order to defeat Jobu. By using this, Evelyn is able to glimpse into the lives of alternate versions of herself and obtain unique skills and memories from them. She is shocked, however, when she learns Jobu is actually her daughter Joy, created by the Alphaverse version of herself who pushed the limits of Joy's verse jumping capabilities. In doing this, Joy's mind was shattered as she experiences everything from alternate worlds all at the same time, channeling any ability on a whim as she pursues alternate versions of her mother for reasons unknown. With this knowledge, however, Evelyn is unwilling to kill her own daughter regardless of what she is, instead opting to fracture her mind just like Jobu in order to fight on equal terms. This garners the ire of the Alphaverse, especially the Alphaverse version of her father Gong Gong, and makes for the most action-packed part of the film with humorous fight scenes. When Jobu appears, Evelyn stands prepared for their ultimate battle. That is, until she drops dead from overloading her brain. In reality though, Evelyn was actually able to fragment her mind, with her now able to move in and out of alternate universes just like Jobu. Now she too is able to experience all the possible futures for herself, and see what she could have been. At first, she is pleased to live out these lives that she could never achieve. She could have been a famous kung fu master, or a blind singer, or a sign spinner, or even a wacky version of herself where she has hot dog fingers. But as problems from each world begin to stack up, it all becomes too much for her to handle. Jobu appears again to confront Evelyn, but instead of a fight, she reveals her true motive behind everything. Because Jobu exists in every universe, she sees every possibility for herself that can happen. But because she knows all that can happen, she begins to realize that nothing really matters. If every one of her decisions are undercut by the fact another version of herself did the opposite, then what's the point of living and making any choices at all if everything is pointless? She even reveals that she created the bagel not really as some doomsday device, but rather as a tool of self-destruction in order to completely erase herself from existence, if she could not find an answer from another person who might be able to feel and understand her pain. And what better person could that be than her mother, Evelyn? At first, Evelyn is willing to agree with how stupid life is and follow her daughter's nihilism into oblivion. And yet, even through the chaos of the multiverse, there is something that keeps taking her attention away from the moment. Someone who has always been there for her to try and take her problems onto themselves. Her husband, Waymond. Throughout the film, Waymond is constantly dismissed by Evelyn as just a silly and meek man, one who would bend down to others without a clue about whatever's going on. However, all versions of Waymond do everything they do, not because they lack a spine, but because it's their way to resolve problems for all parties without further conflict. It's simply his way to fight for peace. The scenes taking place at the laundromat at this point in the film is what allows Evelyn for the first time to fully take in her husband and realize everything he's done for her and others. Even if their marriage is doomed to fail, one constant remains across each and every universe. The love and kindness expressed by Waymond. It is through him that Evelyn is able to cling onto her world despite knowing how meaningless her existence is, which once again puts her at odds with Jobu. The climax of the film is the struggle of Evelyn to pull Joy away from her nihilism and the bagel, even if it means fighting Jobu's lackeys and the Alphaverse who want Jobu to erase herself. Now enlightened by Waymond, Evelyn uses her newfound abilities to resolve the personal issues of every combatant while sporting a googly eye on her forehead. A very literal third eye. Evelyn, with all the power in the world, uses it not to destroy, but to understand others, even reconciling with her father as she carves a path toward Jobu. Ultimately, the final battle is not really about a battle, but about emotions. About self-hatred versus the open arms of a mother. Yin versus yang. Googly eye versus bagel. In short, an empathy fight. Across different universes, Evelyn tries to get her daughter to see she is loved, until she realizes she cannot force her will onto Joy. Instead, she must let Joy decide for herself what she truly wants. Life or death. Joy chooses life. Their resolution is described best by Evelyn as she embraces her daughter.
We can do whatever we want. Nothing matters.
We return to the bland world of Evelyn Wang, this time ready to appeal her situation with the IRS alongside her family. They have all gone through hell and back just to share one good moment together again. And yet this isn't necessarily a happy ending. The troubles of Evelyn's alternate selves will always be felt as her mind is spread infinitely across the multiverse, while her relationships with Waymond and Joy may still sour in the future. But even so, she silences her trepidations as she decides to love and cherish these fleeting moments with her family, and see for herself where her actions may take her. After all, this is a life. Everything Everywhere All at Once is certainly a wild experience, but it is a very comprehensible film with a whole lot of heart and humor. A lot of the film really highlights how in our daily lives everyone thinks that they are the star of their own movie, and so are unable to really see or acknowledge each other because of all the noise in life that takes our attention away. It is from taking the time to understand one another that one can make peace with themselves and others. To some, the story may be quite profound, while others may be put off by its peculiarity. But regardless, it all makes for a very fresh viewing experience. Personally, I feel the film's main theme has much in common with one of their inspirations, it being Masaaki Yuasa's movie Mind Game, as characters from both films must face their fears of the future in order to live life for themselves, regardless of where it may take them. The Daniels really outdid themselves with this movie, and I certainly look forward to whatever else they may make in the future. If anyone made it all the way here, thank you for watching the video, and thank you for over 100 subscribers. I was thinking not too many people would enjoy all this strange stuff that I love, but it seems I am fortunately mistaken. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, you're welcome to leave a like and maybe subscribe, as I look forward to making more things in the future. But again, and as always, thank you for watching.